well, this should be interesting. We have some plot details revealed. Yeah, because, I guess all we know really is, there's supposed to be some type of incursion. Galactus is coming, and, Fantastic Four is, I guess, doing their thing. Talking to the Silver Surfer about being marked for death. Screwface has joined Galactus. If you don't get that joke, shame on you.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. We just got a lot of new details about the Fantastic Four film coming from two different places. One is Marvel Studios themselves in a really cool new announcement that they revealed yesterday. And the other one is coming from the actress who plays the Silver Surfer in the film, Julia Gardner. And some things that she says might actually imply that this object that we see Reed Richards with in the trailer where we finally see him stretch could actually be the MCU version of the Ultimate Nullifier.
Yeah.
We'll talk about what she says in this recent interview and also break down what Marvel Studios has just announced. Also, we are on TikTok and Snapchat.
The Ultimate Nullifier!
Now, if you're on those platforms and want a different type of content from us, but also more content from us, I'll link my accounts in the description down below. Now, this exclusive announcement about the Fantastic Four First Steps is coming from Deadline, and this actually is a historic announcement from Marvel, just Marvel in general, not specifically Marvel Studios. They have announced that Marvel Comics and Marvel Studios are going to be working together. They are specifically teaming up to do a tie-in comic for the Fantastic Four First Steps. This is what Deadline reports.
Help us figure it all out.
And Marvel Studios are teaming on a Fantastic Four First Steps comic, which is launching on July 2nd. Here's why this is a big deal. It's the first time that the comic side and the studio side have worked together on a comic set in the world of a specific MCU movie. So
I might actually get it just so I can fill myself in, you know what I mean?
It's a comic that takes place in the MCU. It doesn't take place in the comics universe. It takes place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's a really cool deal, and it's actually written by Matt.
That actually looks really bad. The thing looks really stupid right there. Reed looks dumb. This woman, she's okay. The Human Torch looks the best. Human Torch looks the best in this picture.
Fraction. The drawings are by Mark Buckingham and the cover art is by Phil Noto. And what's interesting is it's a one-shot comic book that is published by the Future Foundation. So this is just a really cool idea, but in this announcement they revealed something pretty important about the Fantastic Four First Steps film, confirming a pretty big part of the movie. They state, the one-shot comic book is designed to be an artifact from the world of the upcoming movie and confirms a few things that fans have speculated about, including that the Fantastic Four First Steps is not an origin story, but...
Well, we already knew that. They were supposed to already been heroes for a little bit there, right? Yeah.
Will pick up 4 years after they become heroes. So, there we have it. Officially, the Fantastic Four is not going to be an origin story. And when we see the Fantastic Four in the Fantastic Four First Steps, it'll be 4 years since they have been in the accident that got them their superpowers. So this gives us a little bit of context about what we've seen from the trailers. When they go on the Ted Gilbert show in the trailer that they just released, this isn't right after they become superheroes and get famous. This is 4 years after they become superheroes. And that's why Ted Gilbert says, we all know the story. Because at this point in time, they are... As
soon as I heard that in the trailer, I was like, they've been heroes for a while. They are established and cemented on this world and universe.
Established superheroes. And that is also another reason why the entire world is looking at them to save them when the Silver Surfer comes and announces that their planet has been marked for death. Because they've already been saving the world for 4 years. And
I want Hacha dead! I want his family dead! And if you can't kill him, I gonna kill him! Then I gonna kill you!
And speaking of, here's another interesting detail revealed. the cover for this comic is exactly like the cover for Fantastic Four #1. Well, almost exactly like it. They switched up a little bit. Reed Richards doesn't have ropes on him. Sue is in a protective shield, and they're all wearing their actual Fantastic Four uniforms, but it was designed after their debut cover, the Fantastic Four #1, which is really cool. But remember, this is all from the movie, so this shows us that they're going to fight Giganto, who is a monster of Mole Man. So this gives us confirmation for that. Now, we've seen some leaked photos that show us Mole Man is indeed going to be in the movie, even though we haven't seen direct photos of Mole Man yet. We know Paul Walter Hauser is going to be in the movie.
Mole.
And most people speculate that he is most likely going to play Mole Man. But what this tells us is that since the Fantastic Four have been superheroes for 4 years now, and they're established, we're most likely going to see flashbacks of villains that they have fought before in the past. With Mole Man most likely being one of the...
He does kind of look like a young RDJ in, what was it? Was it an Endgame? Was it Endgame? Did they show that? I think it was Endgame, right? No. Was it... No, was it Civil War? I can't remember. Was it Civil War?
Those villains. And this could lead us to some really cool cameos. We know that the Fantastic Four First Steps takes place in an alternate universe, in a retro-futuristic universe that is set in the 60s. We could see some really cool supervillains show up, played possibly by some really cool actors. We also know John Malkovich is going to be in the movie, and we don't know what role he's playing yet either. And, of course, I should note, even though this isn't going to be a true origin story for the Fantastic Four, they are going to do flashbacks and show us how they got their powers. Most people do know the story of how the Fantastic Four got their powers, but for some who don't, or need a refresher, they're going to include that in the movie. We've already seen that in the first teaser. Reed talks about how the first time they went in space, they didn't have their powers. This is most likely a part of the scene where they basically explain what happened. And they do show us some flashbacks as well in the teaser trailer. So this is just some really cool news, and it gives us some new details about the film. But as I mentioned, Julia Gardner, who was playing the Silver Surfer in the Fantastic Four First Steps, she just recently did an interview as well with Entertainment Weekly. In this interview, they talk about a few things, like how she is playing Shala Ball and not a gender-swapped Norrin Rad. They are two different characters. She talks about how she read and studied the comics and how she tried to get different poses down for the Silver Surfer going through space on his/her surfboard. She also said this, that the Silver Surfer is going to feel more mysterious in a way, and very different than any other ones that we've seen so far. And she's not just talking about her character, but the film overall. She said, also, just the world feels so different with the 1960s retro futurism going on. The audience is going to get a completely different experience with this movie, so they'll have a clean palette.
Oh, I know we are going to get a different experience. And what they've announced about all the characters, oh, we're getting a different Fantastic Four than what we thought we were going to get. Absolutely true, Wonder.
The most recent one, some bad Fantastic Four films. Now here's something incredibly interesting that she said during the interview. Entertainment Weekly asked, which actors did you work with the most during filming? And she said, actually, I worked with all four, but I did a lot of days with Joe. Joseph Quinn is so lovely, and I think he's absolutely brilliant in this. Okay, so based on what she just said...
If someone's brilliant in a role, then we get in our mind Oscar-worthy, noteworthy, standing above all in certain ways, you know, so that should be interesting.
She has the most scenes with the Human Torch. So the Silver Surfer and the Human Torch are going to interact a lot. And knowing that the Silver Surfer is most likely going to turn good in this movie and go against Galactus, it makes me think that the Silver Surfer is going to help the Fantastic Four figure out a way to actually defeat him. And that's going to involve Johnny Storm more than the others, at least for the story of the Silver Surfer. This makes me think of the part in the full trailer that they just released where the Fantastic Four are going towards a planet that is seemingly being destroyed by Galactus. I think this part right here is where the Human Torch might team up with the Silver Surfer to get on Galactus' ship. We did see a scene that appears to be the Silver Surfer on Galactus' ship. Or it could be the Elemental Converter. But the Elemental Converter is kept on his ship, the Ta-2. And you know what else is kept on his ship? The Ultimate Nullifier. The device that the Fantastic Four...
The Ultimate Nullifier!
use in the comics to get rid of Galactus to spare their planet. The Ultimate Nullifier was created by the Watcher Mnu, and it's a weapon that has the ability to essentially delete anything. Before Galactus got a hold of it, the Ultimate Nullifier destroyed 9/10 of the entire universe. But in the comics, Johnny Storm actually retrieves the Ultimate Nullifier from the Tatu, Galactus' ship and his home, because he was directed to do so by Uatu, the Watcher. Now, I would love for Uatu to show up in the Fantastic Four First Steps, but what seems more likely is that the Silver Surfer is going to help them out and direct Johnny to the Tatu to retrieve the Ultimate Nullifier. I think the Fantastic Four are going to plead with her, asking her to spare their planet. Obviously, this is not going to be up to her, so they ask for her help. How can they defeat Galactus and stop him? So she tells them of the only way: get the Ultimate Nullifier. So she directs Johnny Storm to go retrieve it from Galactus' home base. This would mirror the comics in a really cool way, but also give us a different story. And the Silver Surfer, specifically working with Johnny Storm to retrieve the Ultimate Nullifier, would go along with what Julia Gardner said. She worked the most with Joseph Quinn, the Human Torch. So this device that Reed has in his hand...
the thing is really small, and she's smaller than usual. Feels smaller than usual, like... I don't know. I don't know if they're going to have him go toe-to-toe with the Hulk at any point in the movies, but I know he's smaller than the Hulk, but he seems smaller than usual. Although I don't know how tall the other one was, you know what I mean? And, the ones that everybody knows as the Fantastic Four. But the Fan Force Stick, that was a great design. That was a bad movie, but I thought it was a great design. I mean, he ain't wearing no pants or no drawers, but, I mean, you wouldn't talk about the Thing. I mean, I think that was damn close. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this one's more comic book accurate, but I think I've seen him drawn kind of that way from Fan Force Stick. But they had so much to... Remember when they airdropped him in that teaser or whatever? That was cool, man. This movie just ended up being so bad.
At the end of the trailer, where we see him stretching and fighting Galactus, this is most likely a weapon made from the Ultimate Nullifier. And in this scene right here, he's probably trying to get to Galactus to use it on him. So, as you can see, a lot of exciting things coming up for the Fantastic Four First Steps. Go ahead.
All right, get on over and follow the Cosmic Wonder. Post the comments down below. Let me know what you think about this. Did you enjoy my thoughts on this new news, on these new reveals? If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. And I will see you in the next video. 10 million subscribers. Woo!